Welcome back to my channel, Cancer. Thank you for joining me today. My name is Emily Gear. I'm a transformative energy healer and multi-dimensional channel. And I'm here with your weekly message. And this happens to be the week of the Lionsgate 2019. But whenever you've come across this message, if it's resonating for you, then it is for you. It doesn't really matter when it was recorded. So I also want to mention that I am also doing extended readings. It would be extended relationship readings, and I've actually changed up the format to be a you and them, or you versus them format. And so the link to that will be in the description box below in case you want to look directly into romantic relationships. We'll look into the energy of you and the energy of them and see how they're comparing. So we will do that after this reading. So for you guys this week, everybody, I'm really feeling this sense of an excitement, a sense of excitement and a sense of renewal. I think that potentially over the month of July, when there were two eclipses and one very potent full moon or new moon, actually, there were two new moons, but I'm thinking of the last one in July, as well as the beginning and end of Mercury retrograde. It was an incredibly energetically active month. And I'm really feeling this sense that you guys did a lot of integration. Could be that this was all transpiring mostly in your astrological sign. But I am feeling the sense of everything kind of shifting internally. When I looked at it for the other signs, actually a similar thing came up for them, but it was more like recalibration and shaking up of all of the debris. For you guys, I'm getting more a more gentle sense of absorption, or really integration is probably the best word I can use for it. It's like when you water a plant and you see the water mixed with the earth and they just become one. Impossible to separate at that point. You know, that is the kind of alchemical changes that I'm sort of seeing that you would have gone through. I am feeling that energetically it's possible you had a little easier, a little smoother time than some of the other signs. However, you had an equally as transformative experience, if not more so. You do still have some things coming up for you, though. And one of those surrounds a kind of fear of showing your true self. And I think that may be to either in a relationship, or maybe it's like a new relationship where you're sort of feeling less than stable. Like you haven't really established yourselves yet. And so you're still like worried about what this other person thinks. So I am feeling like kind of the need to dig deep, to find that sense of identity and to find that sense of internal, I almost want to use the word pride, even though pride has a very negative connotation, but it's something like pride. It's like self-respect. It's finding this sense of self-love and self-honoring that maybe you haven't truly had in the past. It feels easier right now that you're making that connection. So you've either recently discovered this, or you are discovering this week or very soon. And it's very necessary because you haven't really been putting yourself out there, either, you know, whether it's in the public eye or the community eye, or in front of a person that you want to involve in your life, or to a business partner that you want to bring in, or even a company that you would love to work for and you want to kind of approach them to show them what you're made of, that kind of thing. This is kind of the energy of approaching a group or a person to show them what you're made of, but not in an aggressive sense. This is not an aggressive sense. This is again that idea of the divine feminine that I've been talking about forever, for the last week or two. And it feels like when you know who you are, you don't need to argue about it or something like that. You don't need to prove who you are when you know who you are. It's that kind of energy. And so some of you are there already. Some of you are getting there, but this is definitely, if this is coming up for you, then know it's natural. And the shifts that are occurring surrounding this are really important for you. These are high level shifts. These have to do with releasing karmic attachments. It has to do with reevaluating your belief system or systems. It has to do with, I want to say, reinventing yourself on some level. But it is genuine. It's not you're reinventing yourself to be someone else. It's reinventing yourself to be more of who you really are or were to begin with. And this is a big change. This is a total shift for you guys. I see you like shapeshifters right now. You're shifting from one shape into another naturally. And that's part of the water. It's part of the water element to begin with. And so this might surround your emotional reactions to what comes up for you at this time. And much of what is shifting is the way that you would have reacted emotionally in the past. You're going to be dealing with it maybe with a bit more detachment, or it's like unbiased detachment, that you are able to deal with some of these shifts that are coming in, some of these changes, some of these new truths that are coming up. Some of you are stuck. There is some fear coming up. I'm feeling of making these changes and making these shifts, because the identity is something that we all hold on to so tightly, especially the Cancerian crab. I can say that I'm a Cancer sun and moon, and we're not great at change all the time. It's funny because on some level we are. I think it's because we flow emotionally, and that's the shape shifting that's coming in. But we're not always good at letting go. We'll hold whatever it is in our claws for as long as we can. And so I think there is some fear about taking some steps forward. But at this point, you kind of know where in your life you need to be putting yourself out there, and where you need to really be speaking your truth and be honest and clear about how you feel about certain things, about what you have to offer, about who you are, whatever is relevant to your situation. This is kind of coming out of the closet to an extent. It's bringing you closer to who you really are. And I keep saying closer. That's because we are all so mired in so much of our story that we've created for ourselves and kind of built and woven around ourselves as protection. It protects us in some sense. Much of that has fallen away, but some of it is still crumbling. It's like that shell, the crab shell that we keep around ourselves. It's our story. So this is about having the courage to let that shell, that story, those beliefs, that habit fall away. You have done so much work. This is not to say that you have not already done this. You have done so much work. I'm really feeling like July was an incredibly transformational time for you. So much of the ascension process that you are prepared to absorb at this time has happened. It's not to say that there's not a lot more work to be done. We all have a lot of work to be done, but the sense is that what you are prepared to receive and absorb at this time, you have done so much. And yet there's more. There's another layer to break through, another layer to punch through. More truth, more clarity, more honesty about ourselves and about our mission in this world, and what that involves for you. For everybody, it's something different. But what I'm feeling is like this is that ultimate truth of what fulfills you. So is that, a divine complement relationship where you're both working toward the same mission? Is it children? Is it this incredible job with this perfect company in the city that you've always wanted to live in? Is it settling down in your parents' house, your parents' old house, and restoring it? I don't know. Is it working with the community you grew up in? Is it fighting for equality? What is it? For every person, it's going to be different, which is why some of these readings can be very challenging, because I want to give you more detail, but everybody has a very different situation. For some of you, I am feeling that this is a twin flame slash karmic, or not karmic, a twin flame slash divine complement situation. For others, this is about understanding what your real calling in life is, and stepping out of, breaking away from the fear of the instability of moving on from what you have been doing, which has not been fulfilling you and has only been serving the role of helping you to survive. Who are you really? That's the big question this week. Who are you really? Because everything's queued up. You've been kind of dressed up to go on stage, right? And the curtain's about to open, and now you've got to decide what your character is. Who are you playing? And I hope that you're playing your core self, your higher self, your most intimate and true self. Because that's the truth. And that's going to punch you through this next layer, this higher level. And it's easier than you think to achieve this bliss. And it's all about being aligned with who you are. That's that bliss. Anytime we're in resistance, it feels bad. When you're in alignment and you're in the flow, it feels good. That's bliss. Okay? So who are you? What are you in alignment with? Who are you really? Those are the questions for this week. And be sure to use this energy to help yourself punch through this false ceiling that is around you right now. Okay? So I hope this was helpful. We're going to look directly at romantic relationships. We're going to look at you, and we're going to look at them in the Vimeo video. The link is below in the description box. And if you would like to set up a private reading with me, you can do that on my website, which is IamEmilyGear.com. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe to my channel. Share with anybody you think would benefit. And I look forward to talking to you guys again soon. See you over on Vimeo. Bye.